All right. What's going on, everyone? Aaron here, Clean Cuts Lawn Care. We got Vicky behind the camera. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, episode 2. I've been talking this one up quite a bit in other videos. My big mistake. A bunch of comments, people wanting to know, eager to know what mistake did I make, what happened. It's a great question. Am I being sued? Am I filing an insurance claim? What's going on, right? In order to answer the question, you guys know I got to take you all the way back to the beginning. It would be on a Friday doing route number 5. At this time, route number 5, we were just wrapping up the week. It wasn't a very profitable route for me. All the other routes were. That's where we were making our money. Route number 5, we were really just paying Robbie, getting the work done. We were really breaking even on route number 5. During this time, we started doing Instant Quote door hangers. We would get maybe 6 or 7 new mowing accounts, fill them in through the rest of the week, and switch the rest over to Friday and finally make it a big profitable route. One of the calls we would get was a person wanting mowing and also accepted the estimate for a trim job, but didn't just want a trim job. He wanted all kinds of landscaping work done. So I would put him on the route. I'd put him on the mowing route, and we would decide that at the first mow, I would do the estimate and give him the estimate for the landscaping. Perfect. We do the first mow. He wasn't home. I call him. He said, I'm at work. Can we do the estimate tonight? Now, this is 5 minutes from my shop. It was not a big deal for me to leave the shop after work and come back to do the estimate. I would come back to do the estimate, and he was still not there. So I call him. He told me he was out on a call for work, and we would actually do the estimate over the phone. It would be a $1,200 landscaping estimate. So he told me how he was getting custody of his child and that the court was doing an inspection on the property on the 21st of July. Not the property, but the home. And he wanted to make sure the property was looking really good for this inspection. So we would decide to do the job on Saturday, July 15th. We had already done the first mow that morning. The next week would roll around, and which it was the next Saturday we were supposed to do the job. Next week would roll around. Wednesday morning, we go to the first customers to mow, and we get hit with a big rainstorm, and it's not going to stop for a few hours. I would call this customer and say, hey, look, can we do your job today instead of Saturday? Because of the rain, we're already working a 6-day work week. If we don't get it done today, it wouldn't be done until Sunday if we're able to do it, because I wouldn't have as much help. It would have been, me and Vicky could have done it, but it was a big enough job that I wanted, Robbie there as well, and he wouldn't be available on Sunday. He said, oh, absolutely, go ahead and do it. However, I'm in Pennsylvania working. I'm not there to pay you. Well, I can't hold him accountable for not being there to pay me because we're switching up, the schedule. I say, look, man, don't worry about it. We just want to get it done to make sure this happens before your inspection. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Everything. Seemed like a really nice guy. I really felt for him with the whole getting custody thing, wanting his property to look great. We would go do the job, and about halfway through, a lawn care truck would come down the road, stop in front of the house, beep the horn, and call me over. I went over, and the guy says, did so-and-so hire you? And I said, no, the guy who hired me, his name is so-and-so. He said, nope, his name is so-and-so because I own the house. He rents the house from me. He went to high school with my son who was in the truck. And I said, well, that's the name he gave me. And he goes, no, his name is so-and-so. So I said, okay. He said he was coming there to trim the bushes, but that was it. He wasn't doing anything else. So he was happy to not have to do it. We did the job. It took about 10 hours. It took about 7 hours to do the job. I would send the guy pictures. He would call me, tell me how happy he was. It looked great. He said, I will be home Saturday morning. I said, great, because we're actually going to be mowing your lawn on Saturday because we're a day behind. Saturday morning would come. We got to his house. His vehicle was there. We did our work. I knocked at the door. No answer. So I said, well, you know what? He probably just got in. Maybe he worked all night, drove home late. No big deal. I leave the invoice for him, and I tell him to call me, and we will do the payment. He called me before we even pulled up to the next property. And he goes, Aaron, I'm sorry, man. I was asleep. I drove all night, got home. He said, do you mind if I pay you in cash as opposed to the credit card? He knew he had to pay the sales tax. So I said, well, that's fine, but the amount is going to be the same. He goes, yep, I'm going to run to the bank. I have some errands to run. Can I meet up with you somewhere on your route? And I said, no, you don't have to. I will come to your house after work and collect the money. Okay, great, I'll call you. We finish up the day. I never hear from him. Sunday rolls around, never hear from him. I text him, no response. I call him, no response. Monday, my day is over. It's probably 4 o'clock. I call him. He doesn't answer, but he calls me right back. He goes, Aaron, I'm sorry, but I got called out on a call. That's why I wasn't able to meet up with you. I actually had to go back to Pennsylvania, and I wasn't able to meet up with you and pay. That's where the story will really begin to get interesting. I have text messages. Just so you know, they are real text messages. Here they are. I changed his name for the video purposes. I'm not going to put his real name out, but just so you know, they are real messages. Monday night, he said he would contact me on his way home and I can come pick up the payment. He didn't contact me. 10 o'clock, I just go to his house, no one's there. So I go, okay, maybe this guy really is being called out on these job sites. So, because he had told me, hey Aaron, I'm running my last call right now in Ravenna. We'll reach out when en route home, no problem. Then 10 o'clock came. That's when I went over there. I call him at 9:59. He doesn't answer, but he responds. I will call you in 10 minutes. I'm on the phone with my boss. Worst case scenario, can drop it off in your mailbox or leave it in my grill. Like, what do you think this is? I said, when? I'm not going to let him drop it off or anything. I'm going to meet up with him in person and get my money. I can leave it there in the morning. I'm sorry, dude. On-call has been killing me. Been doing 16 to 18-hour days. I'll pay you an extra 100 for your patience. I said, no, I need it tonight. Well, I'll let you know when I leave. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and you're running me around from him. Because of work, I'm running you around, okay? Me. And what time is that going to be? Him. If I knew, I'll just move my hand. If I knew, I'd tell you. I have a nursing home of 150 residents that have no cooling, can't leave until I have the chiller back up and running. Look, I'm stopping at your house at 7 a.m. to get the money. You told me Saturday, then you tell me tonight. I want the money in the morning. I'm sorry, man. I've never dealt with a lawn company that wants payment immediately after. Usually it's net 15 or net 30. Not a big deal. I understand that's how you make a living. Speaking to me like I'm going to rip you off is not professional at all. And honestly wasn't expecting you to be doing the job until the 15th. That's my fault for not being prepared. We'll stop for a second with the messages. It doesn't matter about the 15th because we didn't ask him for the payment until the 15th. That is when he told me he would be home to make the payment. He didn't say, hey, is there a period of time, anything. He said, I will be home Saturday to pay you. If he would have asked me, hey, when you send over the invoice, is this like net 15 or something? because then maybe I would have said, well, I can make it net 15 and send it that way. I said, no, that's lawn care. Landscaping is different, especially when I hurried the job for you. I didn't have a problem with the payment. I've never met you. Then I find out you're a renter, which we've had problems with in the past. He thought I meant him specifically. I just meant renters in general. Then no call back when you said, it's not usual net 15 or 30. In fact, it's 50% material deposit up front, rest on completion. I didn't do that to you. So how would you feel right now with $1,200 plus tax up in the air to someone you don't know? Tell me that. So these messages would go on, okay? And he would end up saying, I'll just pay by credit card, which was the original plan anyway. I said, perfect. Give me the card number, I'll run it. He would send me the card number, all the information I need, and the card would immediately be declined. I let him know. He actually calls me. He goes, go ahead and run it again while I'm on the phone. I'll give you the numbers again. Gave me all the information. It would be declined again. He said, let me call him real quick. Calls me back about 30 seconds later, maybe 1 minute. And he says, okay, I just got off the phone with them. They're going to approve it in about an hour. The amount and the information you put in was wrong. I said, well, what was wrong about it? He said, well, something about the zip code or whatever. He claims he used to live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he gave me that address. I said, okay. I said, I'll fix that. I put all that information in. The address he gave us goes to a commercial real estate building. There's no apartments in it. It is all businesses. So from there, he would claim to be paying it in the morning. Yeah, right? Yeah, the next morning.
Yeah.
So he said, if it doesn't go through, I'll pay you in the morning. Of course, it would be declined again. So I go to his house. As he's coming out of his driveway, he sees me pulling up, and I'm about to park in front of his house. He takes off, gone, up onto a tree lawn, down the street, gone. I would run the credit card one more time just in case it really was going to go through. Of course, declined. So I ended up having to contact the credit card company, giving them all the information, letting them know I believe this credit card does not belong to this person. I believe it's a company card or a card maybe for a company he used to work for. I just want to make sure I'm in the clear because he obviously did not have permission to use this card. At this time, I would call his landlord. I explained the situation to him, and I said, I need permission to go onto your property and remove all of the material that I installed and take it back. He was not surprised one bit this happened, and he said, how about this? If I gave you the cost of the material and the labor you paid to your employee, would you leave the material there? I think he didn't want anything happening to his property, and I reassured him that would not happen at all. That this was not his problem, but I do want my material back. So I would tell him, look, for $400, I would do that. However, I said, that's not what I'm contacting you for. I really don't want your money. I just want the material back because I don't want him to have it. No, please let me pay you the $400. I'd rather do it that way. I say, fine. I go pick it up from him. He said, don't let this guy know I paid it. Go ahead and collect the rest of the money, or try to at least. He said, this guy has never paid me rent on time once. He's nothing but a liar, constantly telling me he's on call for work, every excuse in the world, lied to me about getting divorced. He had never been married, doesn't believe that there's a custody battle going on. He said, there's no way in the world a court would give this guy a kid. He's an all-around piece of trash. Those are his words. So he says, still try to collect the money, and if you collect it in full, return the $400. I said, absolutely, you have my word. I wrote him a receipt. Actually, in the receipt, I wrote a paragraph of exactly what had happened to that point, with the agreement that if I collect the entire amount, I would bring the $400 back to the landlord. So of course I didn't tell this guy because I want the landlord's money back. I would reach out to him and he would have more and more excuses, but I'm going to pay you, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to go to a couple of the messages. It was later that night. I'm sorry, during the day I sent this. I hope that was your card you tried using. This was right before I called the credit card company. I have 2 fraud alerts that just came in on that credit card. So now I'm going to file small claims against you for the job, but also to protect myself, I'm going to have to take this card number to the police with these fraud alerts in case you tried using a card that is not yours, which I hope it is your card, because that would be a very bold and idiotic thing to do, which we did have to call the credit card company just to protect us. A couple hours later, hey, there's money in the grill. The rest will be there Friday. Please get it ASAP. Please advise you received this. Like boom, 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 right in a row. I said, I'll confirm when I get there. He did leave $400 there. So $800 was received back to us, but only $400 from him. So we would talk a little bit. He said he was going to pay the rest. I told him, like, look, you could have told me straight up, I don't have the money. Can I pay you $100 a week? And I would have just allowed him to do it as long as he was consistently paying it. I said, you didn't have to lie to me. I'm a straight shooter. If you needed help, like you wanted your property to look good for a reason like this, you could have paid the deposit for the material and labor and $100 a week until it was paid off, and I would have helped you out. I'm not like that. I would have gladly helped you out. So more nonsense would continue, and the following Friday he would ask me, he would tell me he was going to have a payment by 5:30. The company had paid him by check instead of their normal direct deposit. By the time we get there, if we will continue to mow the grass, he will pay everything in full plus 4 mows ahead of time. Can we please continue to mow? I had to pretty much risk mowing the grass one more time just by playing the game. Hopefully, if we go mow it, by the time we get there and get it done, he will go and get the money. So he came out, met me, apologized profusely, and I had to gamble. I had to go ahead and mow it one more time in hopes that he's going to go get the money. He leaves. About 30 minutes later, I get a message that the check did not clear yet. Which, if you were to deposit a check the same day, it's probably not going to clear. So I said, okay, man, just, I need the money by Monday. And he would claim Monday that he is back in Pennsylvania working. So, obviously, he was not going to pay this bill. The remainder of the bill. So, I would contact him throughout the week, not being nice, but not being too hard about it. Like, I'm trying to work with him, I'm playing the game, I'm trying to get the money, and he wouldn't respond. Then he would send one message. It would go on and on like this. Then he would claim, I'm home tomorrow in the morning, your money's going to be there. I sent Robbie to pick up the money. No money there. And that would be the final straw right there. That was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
That was Wednesday. Yeah, he would claim that he was home. I think he said he was home Tuesday night, and the money would be there Wednesday. And he was supposed to pay off the balance, which I can't remember now, was $905, I think, because he didn't know about the landlord. It wasn't there. I would contact him throughout Wednesday, throughout Thursday, and finally Friday, I said, me and Vicky spoke. I said, look, I'm going to go ahead and make it to where he's not going to pay the money. Is that okay with you? She said, absolutely, do what you got to do. I would call him expecting to leave a voicemail, but he would actually pick up the phone. As soon as he picks up the phone, he starts with the excuses, and right here is going to be some video footage for you guys. Monday morning, I'm gonna go up to Brook Park, and I'm gonna file a small claim suit on you. At this point, you owe $400 less than the amount, because when I asked the landlord for permission to go onto the property and repossess all the material, he offered up $400. Your landlord, I asked him for permission to go onto the property and repossess the material that I installed. This is prior to you paying that $400. He offered up $400 for the cost of the material. He obviously was not surprised this happened at all. So if I don't have the money tonight, Monday morning I'm going to go ahead and file against you. You want? Oh yeah, I was going to tell you, but obviously I was going to attempt to get his money back. I mean, he's the one who stepped up and paid the money for the material when, you know, you pulled this bullshit and all the messages about how, oh, it's unprofessional the way you're talking to me, acting like I'm trying to rip you off, and you've been running me around when you owe me the fucking money. I don't owe you money. He knows you're a fucking scumbag. That's what he knows. If I don't have my money, I'm gonna file on you Monday. I will take you to court. And this other bullshit, why would I not attempt to get his money back? That he had to step up and pay for the material that I came out of pocket for to help you out. Of course he knows. Why wouldn't I let him know? He was gonna get his $400 back as soon as you paid the next payment. That way he is even, and I was still going to be short until you finish this off. I mean, that's a lot of nerve to call me unprofessional when you've been running me around like this. This should have been your... At this point, what does that matter? Okay, when I honor my financial obligations, if I owe someone money and they're expecting it, I will go any length to make it happen. Okay, so you came back from the video. However, I will be collecting this money. You can absolutely bet on it. So, what are my mistakes here? Well, there's numerous mistakes here that was made. Just so you guys know, we only had one other person. We've had problems with payments, don't get me wrong. We only had one other person attempt to not pay us the money. We found out, again, they did not own the house, and he literally told me he did own the house. It was a big house on a main road that we pass every day, twice a day, both of us, going to and from work. It's right by our shop. He attempted to not pay a one mow bill, but it was $70, $75, 70 or 75. He was paying every time we mowed through Venmo, you know, with the sales. It was 75 because it came to 81 with sales tax. We mowed it months, and then all of a sudden he didn't pay out of nowhere. And just through a simple Google search, we actually tracked down the owner of the home. And I would contact her and say, I just wanted to know, does he own this house or not? And of course, he did not own the house after he told me that he had just purchased the house to take care of his mom and all this other bullshit. So I said, okay, I'm sorry I didn't contact you for anything other than that. She obviously would contact the guy, ruffle his feathers, saying I got people contacting me because of you, and he would pay. So that was the only other time we had someone attempt to not pay. Now this being the second time. My fault. Let's start away right. Number one, I should have put his credit card on file immediately. And from now on, when I put someone's credit card on file immediately, we are going to charge them something to make like a test fee to make sure that the card processes, which will then be deducted from their first bill. The reason I didn't do that is because of the landscaping project. I figured he would want to pay for that first mow and the landscaping job together, and then kind of start his mowing bill from there. I didn't meet the guy, but he's telling me he's working out of town. He's getting custody of his child, has all this stuff going on. You know, he's on call for his work. Hey, I understand. You know, I get it. People got to work, and there's weird things that happen like that. I immediately should have told this guy, hey, look, I understand it needs done by this date, but if you're not here for me to meet and pay a deposit or give me an active credit card on file, then there's nothing I can do for you. But I looked at it as, man, this guy's trying to get his kid and do all this stuff and do it the right way and provide his child with this, nice house, and he wants it looking good. I let that affect my judgment. Not emotion, but, it affected my... Being that I know in Ohio, this is a woman's state. Okay, the mom can be the devil, and she's going to get custody of the kid. So I thought maybe this kid's in a bad situation, and he's doing everything he has to do, so we're going to help this guy out. We're going to get this done. So that was, my second mistake. Third, as soon as the excuses started, I should have went and immediately filed and had him served with papers or the small claims suit right away, instead of letting him buy more time. Yeah, he did end up paying $400. The landlord also paid $400, but maybe that would have scared him right away to pay the final bill. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah, definitely probably the biggest mistake I've made. It will not happen again. And as far as the remaining balance goes, I want you guys to go to your bank and empty out your life savings. I want you to go straight to Vegas, take your life savings, and bet on Aaron collecting this money. Okay, you can without a doubt, safely, securely, worry-free, bet your life savings that this piece of trash is going to pay me every penny he owes me. And that's it. Alright guys, if you liked the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know everything I'm doing wrong. Oh, the comment section will be good on this one.
Oh yeah.
It'll be good. I already know. I would do it too. Keep the edges clean, boys. I'm out.